The first day a new girl reported to class, she found herself greedily inhaling the scent of the little red-haired hedgehog. A faint pine-like scent with a hint of medicinal herbs made her feel refreshed. The girl even wanted to hug his leg and get all cuddly, but she noticed strange looks from those around her. Her classmates were stunned. Dude, who is this new girl? She's got guts, sitting next to Aiden and sniffing him like a cat. Could this Aiden be the legendary Aiden Fu, the guy with maxed out luck? Sunlight filtered through the leaves, dappling his face. He was actually pretty good looking. Just then, a classmate came over to warn her, no one ever sits there. The guy sleeping next to you is the Fuji Corporation's heir. So he was a school tyrant. But the girl wasn't scared at all. In fact, it made her want to cling to his leg even more. Maybe some of that good fortune would rub off on her. I know. I'll just sit here for now, she said, calmly unpacking her bag. The whole class was in shock again. What's this girl's deal? Did she transfer to this class just to chase after Aiden? Suddenly, the tyrant kicked his chair. The classroom went dead silent. No one dared to make a sound, all waiting for the drama to unfold. The tyrant slowly took off his headphones and rubbed his sleepy eyes. It's too damn loud. All of you, shut up. Then, he groggily pulled some pills, vitamins or something, from his pocket. Mina Zhao's eyes lit up. This is my chance to latch on. She quickly handed him a cup of water. Without thinking, he took it and drank. Then he paused, feeling like something was off. He shot up from his seat, suddenly looking like a feisty kitten. Hell are you? What are you doing sitting next to me? My name is Mina Zhao. I just transferred from the regular track. Hearing this, the surrounding students got even more worked up. This girl must be crazy about Aiden. She studied her butt off just to transfer here. This is true love. At this, the tyrant actually looked a little shy. He coughed twice to hide his embarrassment. You should find another seat. No one sits next to me. But Mina suddenly hugged her desk and started whining. No way! Making me move is like asking for my life. The tyrant's face turned even redder. What the hell are you talking about? Mina realized she'd said her inner thoughts out loud. The tyrant then pointed at a blonde-haired guy, telling him to drag her away. But just then, smack! A newspaper slammed onto the teacher's desk. The homeroom teacher walked in, his face dark. Aiden Fu! Look at the mess you've made! The school explicitly forbids students from riding motorcycles, but you had to ride one with 20 followers in tow. Get out there and run 30 laps. If you can't finish, I'm calling your parents. The tyrant, who had been smirking just a moment ago, wiped the smile off his face. Just then, a trembling hand reached out from the side. Teacher, can I run for him? Aiden was stunned. This girl likes me that much? Her hands are shaking in fear, but she still wants to help me. You like helping so much? Then you go. No class for you after you're done. Without hesitation, Mina bolted out the door. The blonde-haired guy sitting behind Aiden Blondie leaned in with a cheeky grin. Aiden, where'd you find this girl? She just took on 30 laps for you, just like that. What can I say? It's my natural charm. I try to be low-key, but my charisma won't let me. Still, having a girl run 30 laps for me, that's pretty embarrassing. So he had Blondie arrange for someone to run the rest of the laps for her. Aiden said, I'll take over for you. But Mina wasn't having it. She immediately refused and sped up, afraid someone would stop her from accumulating fortune points. 30 laps could grow 3 new sprouts. This was a huge win. You see, she was originally a side character in a book, swapped at birth and only returned to the Zhao family after 15 years. But by then, the family already had the beloved female lead, Yvonne Zhao. Even though Mina tried her best to please them, she was met with coldness and prejudice. She ended up dying of cancer at 23, ending her miserable life. She was filled with resentment. What a crappy way to die. The next second, a voice sounded in her ear. The fortune cultivation and support system can change your luck and alter your tragic fate, if you are willing. Half convinced, she tapped willing and immediately woke up in bed. She had really been reborn, back to the time in her sophomore year when her face was burned. The system's voice returned. Although you've been reborn, your fortune value is still negative. To change your fate, you must get close to people with high fortune and leech off them. This is your fortune bonsai. The more fortune you leech, the more sprouts will grow inside. Collect 500 sprouts to change your fate of dying. 500? You're trying to kill me slowly. The system then provided a list of high fortune individuals. If she clung to them, 500 sprouts would be no problem. But it seemed they were all in the international class. Mina suddenly remembered she had placed 3rd in the grade on last week's exam. According to school rules, the top 5 could transfer to any class. Done. She'd report to the international class tomorrow. But first, she had to get out of the toxic Zhao household. As she was packing, a knock came at her door. Mina, while everyone's here, you should apologize to Yvonne. Then we can forget about you causing her allergic reaction. In her past life, everyone in the family blamed her for Yvonne's allergy, no matter how much she explained. She opened the door and confronted her younger brother. Why should I apologize for something I didn't do? Just then, her brother Leo saw her suitcase and his face soured. Mina Zhao, are you pulling this running away to the dorm stunt again? Is it really that big of a deal? However, unlike her past life, Mina didn't try to explain or cry. She simply ignored him. As she went downstairs, she ran into her family. The female lead, Yvonne, put on a fake concerned act. Mina, I don't blame you for what happened. Please don't go. Mina wasn't falling for it this time. She shook off Yvonne's arm and walked right through them without a backward glance. She heard her mother's scolding voice behind her but didn't care. This life, I will not waste my time trying to please them. The school had a regular track, an honors track, and an international class. The latter two were separated by a single wall but were worlds apart. The honors kids were all academic geniuses. The international class was full of rich kids from prominent families. When the honors students saw Mina walking toward their building, they started whispering. In her past life, she had a crush on the school prince, Liam Shen, and studied day and night to get into the honors track. Everyone was waiting for her to transfer in so they could watch the drama. However, she walked straight past their curious gazes and into the international class next door, scanning the fortune auras above everyone's heads. She spotted the brightest one in the corner, the little redhead, and sat right next to him. Which brings us to the opening scene. After Mina shook off the replacement runner, the student returned to the classroom to report. Aiden, she wouldn't let me run, and she looked really happy while running. Aiden imagined Mina running. Does she really like me that much? Guess my charm is just too hard to resist. As he was preening, his phone rang. It was his friend Chloe Zhang who was out sick. The laughter on the other end of the line went on for what felt like an eternity. I heard a girl took your punishment and ran 30 laps for you? That's because I'm irresistible. Being this popular with girls is such a hassle. Stop being so full of yourself, Chloe shot back. What's she even like about you? Your explosive temper? Your ridiculous hairstyle? Your arrogance? Besides being rich, Aiden's face grew darker and darker. If you can't say anything nice, shut your mouth, he yelled, angrily shoving his phone into his desk drawer. But after calming down, he thought his friend had a point. He should probably get rid of this transfer student. Meanwhile, Mina finished her 30 laps and went back to her dorm, chugging 3 bottles of water. She was exhausted, but seeing the 3 new sprouts in her bonsai made it all worth it. She also noticed the burn scar on her face had faded a bit. In her past life, she'd taken a pot of hot soup for her older brother, scarring her face. But the family only cared about the single drop that had splashed on Yvonne's leg, causing Mina to miss the best window for treatment. She'd worn a mask to cover it ever since. If her fortune kept increasing, she could probably take off her mask soon. By clinging to the school tyrant, escaping her fate as a villainess was just a matter of time. So how should she win him over? Just then, her stomach, empty all morning, started to grumble. She had an idea. She had learned to cook from her grandma and was quite good at it. She used to cook to please the Joust. If she made delicious food for the tyrant, she could definitely win him over. With that thought, she happily bounced off toward the cafeteria. At the same time in the cafeteria, the Zhao siblings and Yvonne's best friend, Eliza, had also heard about the running incident. Eliza asked in surprise, did Mina Zhao really give up on the school prince to chase the school tyrant? Her brother, Leo Zhao, looked at the food in his bowl with disgust. She's definitely just trying to make Liam angry. Every time Liam came over, she'd dress up all nice. He slammed his chopsticks on the table. This food is disgusting. It's nothing compared to what Mina makes. The White Lotus Yvonne quickly put some food on his plate and said sweetly, Leo, you and Mina are close. Why don't you ask her when she's coming home? If you want, I can tell everyone the allergy had nothing to do with her. You don't have to do anything, Leo said impatiently. Hasn't she always come running back home after a few days? But deep down, Leo was annoyed. Even when they fought before, Mina would still bring him a bento box. But today, she still hadn't. Eliza continued, Mina wants to make Liam jealous? With her face? How could Liam possibly be interested in her? Leo, already irritated, grew even angrier. After all, Mina was his sister. He pointed at Eliza and snapped, Why don't you take a look in the mirror first and see what you look like? Eliza was stunned by the sudden outburst. Yvonne quickly stepped in to smooth things over. Others might not know, but she had seen Mina's face when she first arrived at their home. Even Yvonne had felt a sense of crisis. But that all ended a year ago after she got burned. Just then, Mina walked into the cafeteria. Leo saw her immediately. But seeing her with her hands in her pockets, he thought, she didn't bring me a bento? Was I too harsh yesterday? Maybe I should apologize first. After a moment's hesitation, he swallowed his pride and called out, Mina. But Mina didn't even look at him, walking right past. Leo stared in disbelief. Did she just ignore me? Mina got her food and found an empty table. Just then, someone placed a small box of cake on her table. Looking up, she saw it was her best friend, Haley. "You made this at my family's shop last weekend, but you haven't even tried it yourself," Haley said, pushing the cake toward her. Mina's mouth watered. She knew her own baking was excellent. But then she had a thought and stopped unwrapping it. I think I'll save it for later in class. If I give this to the Tyrant, will my fortune points go up? Haley suddenly remembered last week's incident. Is that Yvonne's allergy all better? The smile on Mina's face vanished. I don't know. I've moved into the dorms. What? They kicked you out over something so small? Who's the biological child here? Quiet down, Mina hushed. I moved out myself. Now sit. Haley was still fuming. I bet that White Lotus Yvonne staged the whole thing. I think it might have been Eliza. Because of Liam Shen? She likes him, so she sees you as a rival? Let's not worry about them. I've cut ties with the Zhaos anyway. You'd be better off helping me find a part-time job. After Mina and her friend finished eating and left, two figures stood in the distance, the school prince and his friend. So, Mina transferred to the international class because she was jealous of you and Eliza? Liam looked confused. Who's Eliza? The girl who gave you water at the basketball court last Friday. I remember Mina was standing right behind her. Liam vaguely recalled it. She just shoved it at me and ran off. There wasn't a trash can nearby, and didn't I just toss it to you anyway? Maybe Mina didn't see that part and just left. A strange feeling stirred in Liam's chest. Meanwhile, Mina leisurely returned to her classroom. The moment she walked in, over 40 pairs of eyes stared at her. She quickly checked her desk, still there. Phew! Steeling herself, she walked toward the Tyrant. After hesitating for a good minute, she couldn't resist leaning in to take a sniff. Instantly, the world felt clearer. The Tyrant blushed from his face to the tips of his ears. What the hell are you doing? His cool guy image nearly shattered. He turned his head away haughtily. I'll let you sit here today since you ran for me, but that doesn't mean you can stay. He motioned for Blondie to move her desk. No, I want to sit here. Mina held onto her desk for dear life. Suddenly, her eyes lit up. She held the small cake high. This is for you, in exchange for letting me sit here, okay? The Tyrant looked disgusted. You think I'd be interested in this junk? But the moment he opened it, a scent more heavenly than anything wafted out. It must be delicious. He thought, she's much more thoughtful than any of my previous pursuers. She even knows I have a sweet tooth. Blondie couldn't help but be drawn in by the heavenly scent either. Fine, I'll take it. You can sit next to me this afternoon. But you have to move tomorrow. Mina's mind raced. That's not a good deal. 2 cakes for one afternoon, then you have to add me as a friend. The entire international class gasped. This girl is fearless. The arrogant Tyrant's face turned even redder. Mina, seizing the opportunity, leaned in closer. Fine, I'll add you. Just don't get any closer. After adding him, she was finally satisfied. Unexpectedly, the Tyrant pushed a black card toward her. This is for running for me. Mina immediately took it. Maybe it would even increase her fortune points. Seeing Mina smile so happily, the Tyrant started fantasizing again. This girl is really into me. Just then, a message came from Chloe Jiang. Did you give her the money to get rid of her? I did, but I don't think she's after my money. You should have seen how happy she looked, and her clothes are so simple. She doesn't seem like a gold digger. Time will tell. I've never seen a girl chase you for you. You're just jealous. The afternoon passed peacefully. The Tyrant woke up from his nap, stretched, and turned his head to find the seat next to him empty. She left without saying goodbye? He frowned. Is that any way to pursue someone? Just then, a flood of notifications appeared on his phone. The moment he saw the messages, his face soured. He'd just said she wasn't a gold digger that afternoon, but now he was seeing a stream of transaction alerts. She'd spent $56,000 in just 10 minutes. That night in the Fuji mansion, the Tyrant lay in bed, staring at his phone for 2 hours. This transfer student, she spent $100,000 in one go. She really couldn't resist the temptation. The main point is she hasn't even sent me a single message. Even a sugar daddy gets a thank you. Does she have any idea how to pursue someone? He shook his phone. Maybe the signal is bad? Suddenly, his phone buzzed, startling him so much that it smacked him right in the face. It was Mina's first message to him. Young Master Fu, you can just block me. The moment she sent it, a half-sprout grew in her fortune bonsai. Mina was ecstatic. She started mashing her keyboard, sending random messages while watching the sprout's growth. She eventually discovered that only the first 3 messages each day yielded fortune points. Okay, 3 messages a day it is. Just as Mina lay down to sleep, her friend Haley messaged her, Liam Shen went to your house. 2 hours earlier at the Zhao residence, Mrs. Zhao learned from the butler that Mina still hadn't come home. She started complaining. That girl, you say 2 words to her and she runs away from home. Who spoiled her rotten? She then knocked on her son's door. Did you see your sister today? Did you ask her when she's going to stop this tantrum and come home? Leo, who was in the middle of a game, shouted irritably, "You're the one who yelled at her and drove her away. Why are you asking me?" But the image of Mina ignoring him earlier flashed in his mind. Is she really cutting ties with us this time? Should I send her a message? But that would be so humiliating. But what if I never get her bento boxes again? After much hesitation, he sent a message. To his shock, a big red exclamation mark appeared. He quickly tried calling her, only to find he'd been completely blocked. Her little brother was stunned. Just then, the school prince, Liam, paid a surprise visit. The Shen and Zhao families were old family friends. Liam explained the truth about Yvonne's allergy. The Zhaos were surprised and felt a pang of guilt. The eldest brother called Mina. "We were wrong about you before. I apologize. But it's not right for you to run away from home just because you feel wronged. I'll pick you up tomorrow." Mina didn't answer. She just hung up and blocked him. Finally, some peace and quiet. Back at the Zhao house, Mrs. Zhao was still complaining. She has such a temper. Even if Yvonne's allergy wasn't her fault, she shouldn't throw a fit like this. Seeing his mother blame Mina for being unreasonable even after knowing the truth, Leo could only think of one word: favoritism. If that favoritism was ever directed at me, what would I do? The next morning, the first thing Mina did after waking up was send the Tyrant 3 periods. Daily quest complete. Meanwhile, the Tyrant, who had been up all night, stared at Mina's message. He seriously wondered if his internet was lagging. What the hell is this? Morse code? He started searching online for what do 3 periods mean. The answer: it means, I'm thinking of you, I love you. No reply needed. It's my secret. The Tyrant's face instantly turned as red as his hair. Does she really mean that? No way, she's being so bold about it. After getting ready, Mina carried a box of stuff to the classroom, only to find her spot empty. She thought the Tyrant was just bluffing, but she didn't expect him to be this petty. And after she even brought him a cake. Just then, Blondie walked in, yawning. "Aiden doesn't usually come in this early, so he had us move your desk to the back." As he spoke, his eyes landed on a cake identical to yesterday's. "Hey, since you'll never win Aiden over anyway, why not give it to me? I'll cover your cleaning duties for the whole semester." Mina, annoyed that her desk was now next to the trash can, handed the cake to Blondie. "From now on, you're in charge of wiping the blackboard. Hey, new girl, bring me another one tomorrow, and I'll give you Aiden's home address. How about it?" Mina thought about it. Even if she had his address, she couldn't get in. Not worth it. She turned and walked to her seat. Then Mina started to ponder, Aiden is too difficult to handle. I should consider leeching fortune from someone else. As she was thinking, the Tyrant walked in through the back door, hands in his pockets. He pretended to glance nonchalantly at Mina in the last row. "She's so skinny, is it because she's poor? If she needs money, I guess I can forgive her for getting close to me." Then he saw Blondie hunched over, sneaking food. "Hey, what are you sneaking? Didn't you eat breakfast?" Seeing Blondie scarfing down the half-eaten cake, the Tyrant exploded. "Gold digger! Didn't you promise to chase me? You sent me a secret message this morning, and now you're giving cake to someone else." The Tyrant grabbed Blondie by the collar. "Did you give her money, or did you talk to her?" Blondie was terrified. "I did talk to her. I just asked if she wanted your address, and she said no." A strange feeling washed over the Tyrant. He let go of Blondie, put on his headphones, and sat down, looking annoyed. Just then his foot kicked something. He looked down at Blondie with a dark expression. "Is this yours?" Blondie quickly waved his hands. "I saw the new girl carrying it in this morning. Heh, Aiden, maybe it's a gift for you." He started to open the box. The Tyrant looked dismissive. What could a country bumpkin possibly give? A box of dirt-flavored buns? But the next second, he froze. Scented diffusers, an eye mask, medicinal drops, and even an ergonomic chair. The Tyrant fought to keep his lips from curving into a smile, but still grumbled, "It's all girly stuff." Blondie quickly assembled the chair. Just as he was about to sit down and test it, the Tyrant kicked him 2 meters away and sat down himself. "This new girl has pretty good taste. None of my past pursuers were this thoughtful. In that case, letting her sit next to me might not be so bad." After seeing the Tyrant open her gift, Mina started observing her fortune bonsai. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No matter how she counted, it was still just a few sprouts. When would she ever get to 500? Was there another way to leech more fortune? Meanwhile, the Tyrant spent the whole morning fantasizing. I had her desk moved. Did I hurt her feelings? He was dead tired, but hadn't slept a wink, and he couldn't stop himself from glancing back every few minutes. The school forum exploded. The Fuji prince didn't sleep in class for the first time ever, kept staring at the new girl. When lunch break finally arrived, the Tyrant looked at the empty seat behind him. She gave up this quickly? Couldn't she just ask to sit next to me one more time? Where's the new girl? I think she went to find her friend from the regular track. The tyrant hung his head, muttering to himself. Then, can you find out who her friends were or what she likes? He pretended to casually flip through a book. Basically everything about her. Blondie's jaw dropped. It's been 3 years, and this is the first time I've ever seen Aiden ask about someone, and a girl at that. The tyrant pretended to be calm, staring at his book. Blondie couldn't help but chuckle. Aiden, you're not actually falling for her, are you? The whack. Falling for your ass. Who knows if she's a spy from that other side of the family, trying to dig up dirt on me to fight for the inheritance. That's a good point, boss. I'll go find out. Just as Blondie turned to leave, he stopped. Aiden, there's something I have to say. Bro, your book is upside down. The tyrant, embarrassed and enraged, threw the book at him. Get lost! Meanwhile, Mina went to Haley's classroom. I left Liam's notes on your desk. Can you return them for me after lunch? She then took out a small note. She had intended to slip it into the notebook to thank the school prince for clearing up the allergy incident, but on second thought, it seemed unnecessary. She didn't want him to get the wrong idea. She was done being a lovesick fool in this life. Not long after, Haley took the notebook to the honors class. Here are your notes. Liam was surprised. Why are you returning them? Mina finished with them, so she let me borrow them. I'm just dropping them off, Haley said without turning back. Liam's heart skipped a beat. She would never have let someone else return them before. Why is she different now? Just then, Liam's friend, who had just come back from lunch, ran in. He had overheard at the international class's door that Mina had bought a ton of things for the tyrant, taking care of him meticulously. You think she's doing this on purpose to get you to talk to her? Liam's expression remained cold. I don't even like her. Why would I go talk to her? True. She was always clinging to you, probably affecting your studies. Hearing this, Liam couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. Meanwhile, in the classroom, the tyrant was in a bad mood, checking his phone again and again. Lunch should be over by now. Why isn't she back yet? Mina bought some study materials after lunch. On her way back, she saw her brother with a punkish-looking guy. However, Mina ignored them and walked right past. Her brother's mind went blank. She blocked me, and now she sees me hanging out with a delinquent and doesn't even care. He couldn't take it anymore and ran after her. Sis, when are you going to stop being mad? We're family. There's no need to give me the cold shoulder over something so small. Hearing the words, something so small, Mina stopped and said coldly, I'm not giving you the cold shoulder. I'm just not planning on ever going back. Her brother couldn't believe it. What does that mean? You were all a happy family before I showed up 2 years ago. I'm just an extra. It's better for everyone if we cut ties and go back to how things were. Your family has spent about $130,000 on me over the past 2 years. I'll pay it back slowly. Please tell them to give me some time. Her brother was stunned, his eyes turning red. Who asked you to pay it back? We're family. This brother of hers wasn't inherently bad, but she couldn't explain her past life to him. This was for the best. Mina turned and went upstairs, leaving him with one last sentence. Please take my message with you. Her brother stood there, dumbfounded. He had never imagined she would actually leave and never come back. Just then, Yvonne appeared. Seeing her brother's expression, she asked, What's wrong? What did you two talk about? Her brother was about to speak but stopped. He was afraid that telling the truth would only escalate the family drama. What if Mina changed her mind? So he said, We didn't talk about anything, and turned to leave. But Yvonne grabbed his arm. Is there something you can't tell me? Are you keeping secrets from me now? Already annoyed, her brother yanked his arm away. I told you it was nothing. Why do you keep asking? Yvonne was stunned. My usually obedient little brother just snapped at me because of Mina? Meanwhile, after setting things straight with her brother, Mina was heading back to the international class when she bumped into the school prince and Karina Kong, a beauty from a rival school. Karina was one of Liam's admirers. Seeing Mina approach, she deliberately smiled and linked her arm with his, acting intimate as they discussed an upcoming academic tournament. But Liam immediately shook her off, frowning as he instinctively looked toward Mina at the top of the stairs. However, Mina walked past them without a care, even looking a bit awkward. Seeing the person who used to publicly adore him act so cold, Liam called out to her, Don't have Haley return my notes anymore. I know, but I won't need to borrow your notes anymore. I can just ask a classmate from the international class. The international class? You mean Aiden Fu? He scoffed, thinking to himself, Is Mina really provoking a tyrant just to make me jealous? Doesn't she know she might not be able to get rid of him later? Mina was speechless. Why would he think of the tyrant who holds his books upside down? Then Liam handed her an application for the academic tournament. Fill this out and give it to me. I'll submit them together. Also the library this weekend. I can help you review the topics for the tournament. What's his deal? But it didn't matter. Mina flatly refused and walked into her classroom. Inside, the tyrant had been staring daggers at them. He only looked away when Blondie nudged him, quickly putting on his headphones and grabbing a textbook to feign nonchalance. As Mina walked past him, he felt a pang of disappointment. Why hasn't she bothered me all day? Annoyed, he tossed his book aside and asked Blondie, "Who's that guy who was talking to the new girl? An old friend from her previous class?" Blondie didn't know how to explain. He couldn't just say, "That's the guy she had a huge, dramatic crush on," could he? If Aiden found out he was being used as a pawn to make someone else jealous, he might show up to school with a bomb tomorrow. So Blondie quickly changed the subject. "Aiden, why don't we just move her desk back? It'll save you from craning your neck to stare at her all day. She's the one chasing me, not the other way around. She hasn't bothered me all morning, and my sleep quality has improved." Right, Blondie agreed. "That new girl is something else, playing hard to get with you." "What did you just say?" The Tyrant immediately defended her. "I was the one who threw her desk in the back this morning. It's normal for her to be upset. Don't be so quick to judge a young girl's feelings. Hard to get sounds so ugly." "Okay, my bad." Blondie took all the blame. Just then, the Tyrant glanced at Mina again. "How long is this little girl going to be upset before she comes to talk to me?" In the back of the room, Mina was staring at her fortune bonsai, worried. "The sprouts haven't grown much at all today. What should I do?" The system then reminded her, physical contact with people on the fortune list will generate more fortune. Mina's mind started to wander. If I could hug the Tyrant, what if we could snuggle? Just thinking about it made her feel like the fortune was flowing. Mina started fantasizing about cuddling with the Tyrant, a shy smile appearing on her face. But then her hopes deflated. Forget it. That redhead won't even let me sit next to him now. How could we possibly get cozy? Just then, the homeroom teacher noticed Mina's troubled expression. Is she having trouble adjusting? After class, he asked her to come to his office. Seeing this, the Tyrant immediately sent Blondie to find out what was going on. With a look of utter resignation, Blondie crept over to eavesdrop by the office door. The teacher asked with concern, "You seem distracted in class. Are you having trouble adjusting?" Mina's mind spun. "This is my chance." She put on an innocent and helpless look. "Teacher, it's not that. It's just that I'm too far from the blackboard to see." "Where would you like to sit?" "It seems like the only empty seat is next to Aiden Fu. I could see from there." Blondie was shocked and immediately ran back to the classroom. Aiden! The new girl told the teacher she wants to be your desk mate. He then mimicked the teacher's troubled expression. "That student, if you sit with him, I'd recommend you sit alone." And then the new girl said firmly, "Please, let me sit with him. Aiden Fu is actually a pretty good person." The Tyrant, seeing Blondie's ridiculous act, threw a book at him. "Get lost," he said impatiently, but his face was already red to the tips of his ears. "She couldn't stand not sitting next to me for a single morning, so she went to the teacher behind my back. She's so clingy." Soon after, the teacher returned with Mina. "Aiden Fu, have someone move her desk back. Don't bully the new student just because she's a transfer." The Tyrant shot a look at Blondie and the others. Blondie just stared back, thinking, why isn't Aiden saying anything? Who would dare move it? The Tyrant still looked defiant, but inwardly he was anxious and speechless. Why are these guys ignoring the teacher now? Left with no choice, he pretended to be reluctant. "Fine, for the teacher's sake, move it." "You got it!" Blondie waved to two of his buddies. "Let's move the desk." Mina was finally sitting next to the Tyrant again. After class started, the Tyrant went back to his usual routine of sleeping on his desk. Mina, meanwhile, was plotting how to make physical contact. Since he's asleep, he probably won't notice if I touch him lightly, right? Her finger was halfway there when she stopped. Why are his ears so red? Is he angry that he was forced to sit with me? I can't have him hate me, or how will I leech his fortune? She scribbled on a piece of paper. "Sorry, the teacher assigned this seat. I didn't know beforehand. Sorry, Mr. Teacher, you'll have to take the blame for this one." She then gently pushed the note over to him. The Tyrant, who was only pretending to be asleep, had been thinking, if I keep sleeping like this, she won't have a chance to talk to me. He peeked through half-closed eyes and saw the note. He covered his blushing face with his hand. "She couldn't wait to write me a note, huh? My charm is truly unbeatable." After reading it, the corner of his mouth twitched into a smile. She was the one who went to the teacher. The little liar. But I get it. A girl's secret crush is always poetic. He then pretended to be deep in thought as he scribbled a reply, crumpled it into a ball, and in what he thought was a cool move, tossed it back. But he used too much force, and the paper ball was about to roll off the desk. He thought, if the teacher sees this, the transfer student is screwed. He immediately reached out to grab it. Mina's eyes lit up. Perfect opportunity. She also reached out, pretending to be grabbing for the note. Their hands brushed against each other. Feeling the warmth of her fingertips, the Tyrant felt a jolt, his heart rate skyrocketing to 180. He instantly pulled his hand back and whispered, "What are you doing?" Sorry, I was just trying to get the note. When she opened the note and saw his reply, whatever, she breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed he wasn't happy about it, but he wasn't making a big deal of it either. Then Mina checked her fortune bonsai. Whoosh, 5 new sprouts had appeared. She was overjoyed, feeling like she could go around touching the hands of everyone on the fortune list and strike it rich. Meanwhile, the tyrant was secretly watching her. She's this happy just from touching my hand and she hasn't even won me over yet? She's so clingy. What am I going to do with her? During a break, she went to a corner of the hallway, quietly took out a mirror, and checked her reflection. The burn mark was indeed much lighter. Soon it would be completely gone and she wouldn't have to wear a mask anymore. Back in the classroom, the tyrant noticed Mina sneaking a look in the mirror. Blondie sidled up to him and murmured, "The transfer student has it rough. I heard she wasn't much of a looker to begin with, and then she burned her face last year. With the campus bell contest going on and her sister Yvonne getting the most votes, she must feel pretty insecure." Before he could finish, the tyrant shot him a fierce glare. Blondie quickly backtracked. "But the transfer student has a great personality. She's only been here a few days and she's already brought us desserts and cookies. Everyone really likes her." The tyrant frowned at this, remembering how he had pretended to be disgusted and refused the food she offered him. He had thought it was her breakfast and didn't want to take it from her, but he didn't expect her to just give it to someone else. "Who did she give it to?" he asked angrily. Just a few of the group leaders. The new girl is just trying to fit in." The tyrant thought about it and figured that made sense. The little pastry chef was good with people, a perfect compliment to his own personality. He then let out a happy, silly grin, imagining the transfer student as his future diplomatic wife. With her around, I won't have to worry about the family's social affairs. Just then, Mina walked back into the classroom and heard a few classmates discussing the campus bell contest and Yvonne's first-place ranking. One of the boys saw Mina walk by, and remembering she was Yvonne's sister, deliberately teased her. "Hey, transfer student, can you take off your mask and let us see? We don't even know what you look like. Your sister is pretty and smart, so you can't be too bad, right?" Mina knew they were up to no good and was about to ignore them. But before she could react, something flew past her face. Pencil case hit the boy square on the head. The tyrant looked over, annoyed. "You guys have mouths, don't you? All you do is yap, yap, yap. It's so loud." The boy's face went pale. He didn't dare say another word. Just picked up the pencil case, apologized, and put it back. Mina looked at the tyrant, surprised. He grumbled uncomfortably. "I wasn't helping you. They were just being too loud." Then he immediately slumped onto his desk and pretended to sleep. Mina's eyes curved into a smile as she whispered a thank you to him. Her opinion of him was improving. He might talk tough, but he was actually a pretty good guy. The tyrant, peeking at her through his peripheral vision, thought about how she had been sneaking looks in the mirror. She must be really self-conscious about her face. What those guys just said must have really hurt her. She's probably holding back tears right now. But I've never comforted anyone before. What should I do? After a moment, he cleared his throat and looked at Mina. "Hey, do you think I'm handsome?" Mina was bewildered. Is this idiot's narcissism acting up again? But looking at his serious expression, she had to admit the Fuji heir was undeniably good-looking, with a natural tyrant-like aura. "Yes, you're handsome," Mina answered sincerely. Well, there you go. "Because I'm so incredibly handsome if I were to date you?" The tyrant stopped mid-sentence. Ahem. What I mean is, I don't care about my friends' or followers' looks, since they're not as handsome as me anyway. He patted her shoulder smugly. "So don't worry about it. I don't care if you're pretty or ugly." Mina was speechless. Wow, thanks so much for the comfort. That evening, Mina was in her dorm getting ready for bed. Thinking about all the buzz around the campus bell contest, she decided to check the school forum. She wasn't prepared for what she saw and shot up in bed. What's going on? Why am I on the ballot? Seeing her masked photo up for nomination, she thought, is someone messing with me? Is this Eliza's doing? In the end, she decided to ignore it. The most important thing right now was to leech fortune and survive. Everything else could wait. Meanwhile, the red-haired tyrant was ordering his lackeys to use different accounts to vote for Mina. Blondie and the others felt weak and helpless. Why is life so hard now that we have a future boss's wife? The next day, as the school prince Liam was walking back to class after basketball, he overheard students discussing Mina's nomination. He pulled out his phone to check. He remembered their first meeting 2 years ago. Mina was indeed quite pretty back then, but her grades were terrible and she shamelessly chased him around all day. He couldn't be bothered with her. But over the past 2 years, she had worked hard and was now in the top 5 of the regular track. Looking at it that way, she wasn't so bad. He then cast a vote for Mina. Just then, he heard someone call his name from behind. It sounded like Mina. Liam's lips curved slightly as he coolly turned around. only to see a sophomore girl looking at him expectantly, trying to offer him a bottle of water. He turned and walked upstairs without a word, feeling annoyed. He hadn't seen Mina around for a week. He couldn't understand why the person who used to follow him everywhere was suddenly avoiding him. Meanwhile, Mina, who had just finished school for the day, saw her eldest brother and younger brother waiting for her. "Why are you here again?" she asked impatiently. Her eldest brother was a bit surprised. He had expected Mina to look wronged, not annoyed, but he was here to bring her home. He quickly put on a smile and followed her. "I'm taking you out for hot pot today." "That's what Yvonne likes, not me," Mina said coldly. "Then we'll eat something else. Also, Mom and Yvonne's birthday is next week. You have to come home beforehand. Stop throwing a tantrum." Mina looked at her younger brother. "It seems you didn't pass on my message." "What message?" Her brother's face fell. Mina didn't press the issue. Instead, she pulled a photo out of her bag. She held it out to her brother, but he didn't take it. So, Mina crumpled the family photo into a ball and threw it into a trash can without hesitation. "Besides this photo, I don't have anything else from your family. My bag and clothes were all from my grandma." Her eldest brother got angry. "You just threw the photo away like that? What are we to you? It's just a copy. What's the big deal?" Her brother suddenly felt a sense of déjà vu. It was like when Mina first came to their family crying that her younger siblings had lost her only photo with her grandma. He had said the exact same thing to her. Watching Mina walk away, her brother felt a sharp pain in his chest, leaving him speechless. He then turned to his younger brother. "What was the message Mina wanted you to pass on?" Her brother panicked and stammered. "She said she wants to cut ties completely." Annoyed, her eldest brother loosened his tie and told his younger brother to go home first. He would go find Mina. Just as the tyrant was leaving the classroom, he saw Mina walking away from two men. The atmosphere seemed tense. He was about to walk over when Blondie stopped him. "Aiden, don't go." "Who are those two idiots standing there?" "That's her family. Let's not get involved," Blondie whispered. The tyrant started connecting the dots, what the students had said that morning. Her application for the dorms a week ago. Do her family members favor someone else over her? Do they think that so-called campus belle is prettier and smarter than my little mask wearer, so they're biased? The tyrant flared up. "My little mask wearer is leagues better than that Yvonne girl." Exactly. Blondie quickly agreed. Just then, the tyrant spotted a basketball on a bench. He had an idea to help his little mask wearer vent her anger. He picked it up and walked toward the window. Blondie immediately grabbed him. "Aiden, that's her family. It's not a good idea to hit them." The tyrant thought about it. He's right. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to do it. How would I face her family in the future? He shoved the ball into Blondie's hands. "You do it. It'll be more appropriate." Blondie was speechless, feeling an urge to slap himself. Downstairs, the unsettled younger brother was about to head home when a basketball came flying out of nowhere and hit him in the back of the head. He angrily turned to find who threw it. Blondie walked past without a word, even bumping his shoulder. The younger brother pointed at him and yelled, "You seniors have no manners." Upstairs, the tyrant grumbled, "You guys treat my little mask wearer with such prejudice, and you have the nerve to talk about manners?" Meanwhile, the eldest brother went to the dorm to talk to Mina but was stopped by the dorm matron. Male parents were not allowed upstairs unless a student came down to get them. Remembering that Mina had blocked him, he lied, saying his sister didn't have her phone. The matron sized him up. "Did you register when you dropped your child off at the dorm? Tell me the date and time and I'll check." The eldest brother looked guilty. "My little sister. She came by herself. No one brought her." The matron's voice rose as she brandished her broom. "Are you trying to sneak into the girls' dorm? This is a prestigious private school. What kind of family would let a girl come here alone?" Her words stung the eldest brother. She's right. If it were Yvonne moving into the dorms, I would have personally brought her here. How many times have we repeated these small neglects over the past 2 years to make Mina so disappointed in us? That night, at the Zhao family dinner, Mrs. Zhao didn't see Mina and asked her eldest son, "Didn't you go to the school today?" "I did," he lied. "Mina is preparing for the academic tournament and needs to study, so she's staying in the dorm for now." The White Lotus Yvonne was instantly annoyed. So her brother hadn't picked her up today because he was looking for Mina. She immediately chimed in. "Last year, I only made it to the finals. With Mina's grades, she probably won't even qualify, right?" She looked to her younger brother for agreement. "Don't you think so?" Her brother, already upset about Mina, replied coldly, "I don't know." Seeing her brother's dismissive attitude, Yvonne was furious. She quickly turned to Mrs. Zhao. Don't worry about Mina not coming back. You still have me. I'll give you a massage later." "That's not the same. And when it comes to massages, Mina is the best." The White Lotus's face stiffened, her heart filled with resentment. "It's always Mina." Meanwhile, the tyrant dragged Blondie to the Fuji Mall. "Tell me, Why has she been wearing the same two school uniforms all week? Did she have a fight with her family and doesn't even have clothes? Who? Blondie was confused. He hadn't been paying as close attention as the Tyrant. The Tyrant pointed to himself. Ahem, the girl who's crazy about Aiden Fu? He said smugly. She did my homework today and has been bringing me handmade desserts for days. It would be rude not to get her something in return, right? Blondie rolled his eyes. You're rude all the time. Why the sudden politeness? A saleswoman saw Aiden Fu from a distance and enthusiastically greeted the young heir. As the Tyrant browsed, Blondie whispered, How are you going to give it to her? In front of the whole class? She goes to the library every night. I'm going home first. You hold on to this stuff and we'll meet at the library. No way. Seeing Blondie's strong reaction, the Tyrant asked suspiciously, Are you hiding something from me? No. Blondie panicked. He couldn't tell him that the school prince and his future girlfriend were going to the library together. He quickly changed the subject. Let's just buy a few things. The Tyrant put on an arrogant air. Of course. It's not like I'm going to put a lot of thought into it. 1, 2, 3 items. Clothes, pants, hats. The Tyrant grabbed a large suitcase and started stuffing it. Blondie watched the shelves empty out in an instant. You call this a few things? After the clothes, the Tyrant moved on to the mask display. Just then, a saleswoman ran over, holding up a piece of delicate pink lingerie. Young Master Fu, would you be needing this? The Tyrant's face turned beet red. He exploded. What? Do I look like the kind of person who buys this stuff? The terrified saleswoman quickly apologized and was about to take the little sister away. Wait, I'll take 2. He awkwardly turned away, thinking his little mask wearer probably couldn't afford things like this. He picked up the straps with 2 fingers as if they were burning hot, tossed them into the suitcase, then grabbed a handful of masks, stuffed them in his pocket, and dragged Blondie and the suitcase out of the store, his face flushed. The saleswoman smiled knowingly. Ah, it seems the young heir is in love. But then Aiden turned around and went back in, telling Blondie to wait. Watching the Tyrants retreating back, Blondie muttered, So even Aiden has his moments of being completely whipped. Before long, the Tyrant came back out, carrying a down comforter. He handed everything to Blondie, explaining that his mom and his younger brother, Ethan Fu, were back in the country, so he had to go deal with them first. They would meet at the library at 8. As he got in the car, he added that Blondie should tell the little mask wearer they won all this stuff in a giveaway. Then he sped off, leaving Blondie standing there in a daze. In the library, Mina had just finished a practice test. She checked her fortune bonsai and scrolled through the forum. Suddenly, something caught her eye. Based on her memories from her past life, this tutoring gig for a child with autism was posted by a Professor Gao. If she could get it, not only would it ease her financial troubles, but if she could get some guidance from the professor, she would have a good shot at getting into the academic tournament. As she was replying to the message, the chair opposite her was pulled out. The school prince suddenly sat down. Mina was surprised. Why are you here? Why can't I be here? Do you own this place? Mina was baffled. Why are you being so hostile? Did I do something to you? The school prince's gaze, however, fell on the practice test on her desk, which had Aiden Fu written on it. Why are you doing his homework? He demanded. Because I want to, Mina retorted. It gives me fortune points and helps me review. Why wouldn't I? The school prince was furious, his mind filled with questions. Why is she provoking Aiden Fu? Why has she stopped showing up in front of me? But what came out of his mouth was, Are you done with this charade? Perhaps it was his teenage pride talking. Mina, annoyed by his unprovoked attack, also got angry. Liam, we've only known each other for 2 years. You have no right to tell me what to do. The school prince gritted his teeth and stared at her. We've only known each other for 2 years? Yes. I'm sorry for bothering you before. It won't happen again. Mina stood up and moved to another table. She realized Liam was acting strangely. It was the first time in 2 years he had ever approached her. Maybe he just wasn't used to the person who had been chasing him suddenly stopping. Just then, outside the library window, Blondie saw the school prince and the little mask wearer. They seemed to be fighting. Oh no, Aiden is coming, what do I do? As Blondie was trying to think of a plan, the Tyrant tapped him on the shoulder from behind. Why are you standing out here? Let's go in. Aiden, Blondie stammered, looking at the takeout in the Tyrant's hands. Maybe we should eat before we go in? Are you crazy? It's freezing out here. The Tyrant strode into the library. They found Mina, and Blondie immediately put on a grin. Aiden and I won this stuff in a gaming competition. It seems like it's for girls, so we're just giving it to you. Mina looked at them suspiciously. For me? The Tyrant tried to hide his smug expression and said nonchalantly, Don't overthink it. We're classmates. We should help each other out. Mina glanced at the comforter and other items. No way they won this stuff. They obviously bought it for her. A wave of warmth washed over her as she thanked the tyrant. Meeting her smiling eyes, the tyrant flustered. I told you we won it. No need to thank me. Just then, he noticed the school prince in the background. Why is it him again? And why is he staring at my little mask wearer? He frowned and glared back fiercely. The school prince scoffed and left. The tyrant asked his little mask wearer jealously, Hey, who is that? A friend of yours? Are you too close? Not really. We just know each other. After all, she was now actively avoiding the school prince and would never chase him like she did in her past life. The tyrant pretended to be casual. He looks like a snob. Are his grades any good? Mina's eyes widened. He's asking about grades? Is he thinking of finding someone else to do his homework? She immediately put on a pitiful expression. Young Master Fu, please let me do your homework. The tyrant was stunned. He figured his little mask wearer must be jealous. He fought back a smile and, with an air of arrogance, waved his hand dismissively. Fine, fine. I won't let anyone else do it. By the way, what did you guys buy? Win? Blondie immediately squatted down with a grin. I'll open it and show you. The tyrant quickly stopped him. Wait until you get back to your dorm to open it. But it was too late. A pink, lacy camisole slid halfway out of the suitcase. Mina looked at it, stunned. Won this too? The tyrant awkwardly grabbed the camisole and shoved it into Blondie's arms. What is this? Did you put this in the suitcase? He shot Blondie a look and gestured for him to take it and leave. Blondie reluctantly stuffed the camisole into his pocket, taking the blame. This is mine. The stuff in the suitcase is what Aiden won. Mina held back a laugh. You're a guy. Why would you buy something like this? The tyrant, now both angry and blushing, snapped. You think I wanted to buy it? It just came with the prize. Just then, Mina heard the tyrant's stomach grumble. Did he skip dinner to buy me all this stuff? You should eat first, she said. The tyrant obediently sat down and opened his food container. Cilantro. His eyes dimmed with a hint of disappointment. His own mother didn't even know her son hated cilantro. After buying the gifts, the tyrant had rushed home to see his mother, who had just returned to the country. But she told him she was in a hurry to take his younger brother to their grandfather's and had bought him dinner. The tyrant's heart sank. His mother hadn't come back to see him at all. As he was spacing out, Mina leaned in like a little kitten. Young Master Fu, let me help you with that. She then began meticulously picking out the cilantro. The tyrant watched her shining eyes. She's willing to do something so troublesome for me. How much does she like me? Mina stared at the green cilantro. This detailed work has to be worth a lot of fortune points. Not far away, the school prince clenched his fist, staring as Mina picked cilantro for the tyrant. Is Mina still mad at me? He had even compiled all the key points for the academic tournament for her. Just a moment ago, he had gone to the library's front desk and asked the librarian to give the materials to Mina. He thought that once she calmed down, everything would go back to how it was. The tyrant just propped his head on his hand and watched Mina dreamily until she had picked out all the cilantro. Mina checked her fortune bonsai and saw that it had grown 3 new sprouts. As he was eating, the tyrant got a message from his friend Chloe Jiang. You bastard, you put your purchases on my tab. People are going to think I have some weird fetish. Now that Ethan Fu is back, things are complicated. Next time, buy some fishing gear and put it on my tab. Who's chasing who here? You're about to lose your pants over this girl. What's there to be afraid of? She's not after my money. She might not be after your money, but she could be after the Fuji fortune. People who don't know the situation think you're the sole heir. If Ethan Fu inherits everything, will she still stick with you, or will she go after him? It's the same as always. No one has ever chased you for you. Why would this girl be any different? The tyrant stared at the words on the screen, each one a dagger to the heart. If he had just met his little mask wearer, Chloe's words wouldn't have bothered him. But things were different now. For the first time, a subtle fear crept into his heart. He was afraid that what Chloe said might be true. And he debated whether he should test her. Just then, Mina noticed his stare. Why are you looking at me like that? Hot, the tyrant quickly looked away and casually packed up his food container. It's 10 o'clock. Aren't you going back to your dorm? Heh, the suitcase is too heavy. We'll help you carry it back, Blondie suddenly appeared, saying with a grin. The tyrant shot him a look that said, Why are you back again? Aiden, you don't expect me to take this camisole home, do you? The tyrant immediately felt guilty. Ahem, fine. We'll help you carry it. He stood up and deliberately angled his phone so his little mask wearer could see the screen. He had deleted all the other messages, leaving only one sentence. Ethan Fu is the one inheriting the entire family fortune. Mina was shocked. Did I just read some explosive news? The tyrant noticed her expression and pretended to ask, What's wrong? Mina quickly looked away. Nothing, she thought. So that's why he was in a bad mood. Did Ethan steal his inheritance? So they're rivals. She had considered trying to leech fortune off Ethan, but seeing he only had 2% fortune, she decided against it. It wasn't worth offending the tyrant, especially since she wouldn't get a cut of the inheritance anyway. Just then, Mina noticed a cut on the tyrant's hand. Buying a bandage should give me some fortune points, right? She immediately ran out of the library, telling the tyrant to wait for her. Blondie was confused. Where is she going? Let's wait, the tyrant said, sitting back down, a dark cloud hanging over him. Time ticked by. Blondie finally couldn't take it anymore. Aiden, do you think she felt awkward about taking the stuff and just made an excuse to leave? The tyrant stood up, annoyed. We're not waiting, let's go! He had considered that she might not pass his test, but he never thought she would just bolt. So she was just like all the others after the Fuji fortune. He should have just thrown her out the first time she approached him. Then he wouldn't be feeling this miserable right now, like his heart had been stabbed. Aiden Fu! A clear voice made the tyrant stop in his tracks. He turned around, nervous and hopeful. He saw Mina walking toward him with a light step. Didn't I tell you to wait for me? You couldn't even wait 15 minutes. The tyrant's heart pounded in his chest. I thought you weren't coming back. Mina pulled him along. I went to buy something. Your cut is pretty deep. It'll get infected if you don't treat it. The tyrant couldn't describe how he felt. He thought she would leave after seeing the message, but she didn't. Mina just likes me, Aiden Fu, for who I am. Chloe must be jealous. Mina looked at the tyrant, who was now smiling for no reason. What is wrong with him? She couldn't help but roll her eyes. She grabbed his hand and started applying antiseptic. Ouch, ouch, ouch! Be gentle! The tyrant yelped. Mina saw how deep the cut was and wondered how he got it. The tyrant watched his little mask wearer stare at his wound. She really does just like me for me. All done, Mina said, looking up. She found herself face to face with the tyrant, who was leaning in close. His handsome face filled her vision, radiating a boyish energy. The tyrant's mind went blank. He gulped nervously. This is too close. After she finished, they carried the suitcase and walked her back to her dorm. The tyrant, beaming, pulled out his phone and triumphantly called Chloe Jiang. Hey, I'm telling you, if you ever say something like that again, we're done. So if she's not after your money, what is she after? The tyrant looked smugly at the bandage his little mask wearer had put on his hand. Me, of course. Blondie, standing nearby, was speechless at the tyrant's lovesick fool act. But the tyrant had already made up his mind. Since the little mask wearer likes me for who I am, I have to be extra good to her. Meanwhile, Mina returned to her dorm and happily counted the sprouts in her bonsai. There were 38 of them. Then my face. She immediately bounced into the bathroom. Sure enough, the burn mark on her face was almost completely gone. It was the first time she had been this happy since being reborn. But she couldn't figure out how she got 15 sprouts just from holding his hand. The system explained, because you were holding hands for a full 3 minutes. Mina blushed at the system's comment. Just then, her phone rang. It was a double dose of good news. The tutoring gig for the child with autism had gotten back to her. Professor Gao wanted to meet her tomorrow. The next day, Mina was getting ready to go to Professor Gao's house. To be safe, she decided to wear a mask for a few more days. She soon found the old alleyway at the given address and politely knocked on the door. An old man with white hair and an undershirt opened it. Seeing the school uniform on Mina, he asked, "Are you a student from our school?" "Yes, Professor Gao, I'm doing a work-study program." The old man let her in. As she walked into the courtyard, she saw a little boy squatting on the ground, staring into space. She thought it must be difficult for an old man to raise a child with autism all by himself. Professor Gao noticed her gaze. "This job isn't easy. If you feel uncomfortable, you should leave now." "I'm not uncomfortable," Mina replied firmly. "Come once a week on Sundays. It's 200 per session. The pay isn't much, but you can ask me any questions you have in the future. There are 2 conditions. 1, don't be late, and 2, don't tell anyone at school." Mina stood up excitedly. "No problem at all." After returning to school from Professor Gao's, Mina went straight to the library to organize the notes she had taken from their discussion. The tyrant soon found her. He was wondering if he should tell his little mask wearer about the campus bell contest. He had already ordered his lackeys to vote her up to 20th place. She would probably be happy to know. But then he thought, no, a surprise isn't a surprise if you spoil it. I'll let her find out herself. Just then, Blondie sent him a message. "Aiden, should we keep voting her into the top 10? The tyrant glanced at his little mask wearer. If her ranking is too high, everyone will find out how long her eyelashes are, how fair her skin is, and how good her desserts are. What if they all try to steal her from me? I just want to keep her all to myself." As the tyrant was drooling over his little mask wearer, Eliza saw him from a distance. She was furious. Why does everyone revolve around Mina Zhao? And Liam? I knew him first, but his eyes are always on Mina. Never on me. And how did she even get nominated with a mask on? Nice eyes don't mean she's pretty. If she were really beautiful, wouldn't she be flaunting it like a peacock? Why would she wear a mask all day just because of a small injury? She recalled discussing it with Yvonne before, and Yvonne had never said Mina was pretty. An idea sparked in her mind. She would just go with the flow and vote Mina into the top ranks. She decided to hire people to vote Mina into second place. She still wanted to be friends with Yvonne, who was in first place, so she couldn't offend her. When the contest ended, Mina would have to take off her mask. Everyone would be utterly disappointed and stay away from her. It would be a complete humiliation. That morning, as soon as Mina arrived at school, she was met with strange looks from the students. Everyone, whether she knew them or not, was staring at her. Mina was confused. Even in the international class, her classmates were staring. She couldn't help but ask Blondie, "Do you know why they're all looking at me? Check the campus bell contest." Seeing her votes ranked second, Mina was baffled. What is Eliza up to now? Just then, more and more people crowded the doorway, their jeers growing louder. Hilarious! This is this year's second place campus bell? With over 6,000 votes? Why don't you take off your mask and let us see? Blondie knew this was bad. He ducked under his desk and sent a message to Aiden Fu. Aiden, get here now. People are trying to force the transfer student to take off her mask. He quickly hung up, afraid the tyrant would yell at him. He then leaned over his desk and shouted at the crowd outside. Have you never seen a girl before? Get lost. But the crowd outside, led by Eliza, started chanting, Ugly freak. Mina finally snapped. She wasn't one to start trouble, but she wasn't afraid of it either. She slammed her hands on her desk, stood up, and stormed out. Blondie ran after her. New girl, just wait a little longer. Aiden is on his way. But by the time he finished speaking, Mina had already taken off her mask. The air went still. Everyone stared, dumbfounded. Mina looked coldly at Eliza in the crowd. If I'm an ugly freak, then what are you? Impossible. Eliza's face went pale. Every time she had said Mina wasn't pretty, Yvonne had never disagreed, only told her not to say such things. Had she misunderstood? Did Yvonne mean Mina was actually beautiful? Suddenly, Eliza became a laughingstock. The people she had brought to mock Mina now turned on her. Someone suddenly realized, Eliza, were you using us? We wouldn't have come to watch if you hadn't started this in class. It was she who had been shouting in their classroom that Mina was ugly and that her votes must have been fake. Now it was clear who the real troublemaker was. Jealousy is a scary thing. She really shot herself in the foot. Faced with everyone's ridicule, Eliza looked to Yvonne for help. The crowd started whispering, speculating that the campus bell was also involved, since they were always together. Yvonne was forcing a smile, but in her mind, she was cursing Eliza. You idiot, you dragged me into this. If word of this gets out, my whole family will find out, especially since Leo is here. She immediately switched on her acting skills and pointed at Eliza. What are you doing? You caused my allergy last time, and now you're targeting Mina. Eliza was about to argue, but Yvonne didn't give her a chance, letting tears stream down her face. Is it because you and Mina like the same person? I don't want a friend like you. Oh my God, Eliza, what kind of person are you? You only target girls who are prettier than you. Seeing that the White Lotus drama was almost over, Mina cleared her throat. You've had your fun. If you want to fight, go back to your own classroom. Eliza never expected things to turn out like this. She was in a cold sweat, her mind blank, as she mechanically started to walk away. Suddenly, Blondie grabbed her uniform. He couldn't face Aiden if he let her go. Where are you going? Didn't you want to see? Come on in, he said, dragging her into the international class. Eliza was on the verge of tears. I'm a girl, don't you have any manners? Blondie wasn't buying it. Shut up. What are manners? Can you eat them? Just then, someone pushed Blondie. Who do you guys in the international class think you are, picking on someone from the honors class? Who are you pushing? You want to fight? Bring it on! Mina was speechless. She just wanted to annoy Eliza. But how did it escalate to this? The doorway erupted into a brawl. Blondie even found a moment to shout to Mina, Boss's wife, get inside! But before Mina could, she was shoved in the chaos and lost her balance, falling backward. Suddenly, two hands caught her from behind. A familiar, faint pine-like scent with a hint of medicinal herbs filled her nose. She knew without even looking that it was Aiden Fu. He then lifted her up, turned her around, and placed her inside the classroom. He looked down at her anxiously. Are you okay? Then he froze. It was the first time he had seen her face. He blushed instantly, his heart pounding wildly, but he was too stunned to notice, just staring at her like a fool. Mina quickly steadied herself and smoothed her messy hair. Thanks. She suddenly noticed that her fortune bonsai had grown 10 new sprouts. But the noise from outside quickly brought her back to reality. Young Master Fu, they're fighting outside. Aiden Fu was still staring, thinking, How can she be so beautiful? Mina had no choice but to raise her voice. I said, they're fighting outside. Go stop them. Aiden Fu finally snapped out of it. He looked back. Whoa, they're fighting! He took 3 large steps and stood in front of Blondie and the others. I'd like to see who dares to bully my classmates. Hearing his voice, the students from the other class scattered. The school tyrant is here. He grabbed a slow runner. Were you the one who called my little mask wearer an ugly freak? The boy, terrified, immediately surrendered. I was wrong. But the tyrant didn't care. He swung his fist and punched him. Mina, peeking out from the doorway, was bewildered. Didn't I tell him to stop them? Why did he join in? Just then, Blondie retreated to Mina's side. Don't worry, no one can beat Aiden. Really? He's that good at fighting? Heh heh, Blondie said proudly. You know the Fuji legal team? They've never lost a case. Anyone who fights with Aiden can only take a beating. If anyone dares to fight back and so much as touches a single red hair on his head, the Fuji legal team will sue them into bankruptcy. Mina rolled her eyes and gave Blondie 6 dots. Just then, the homeroom teacher arrived and took the tyrant and the beaten-up student to his office. He was so angry that he started yelling at them right outside the office door. Are you guys from the International and Honors class? I thought you were from some gangster movie. And you? Why are you learning from Aiden Fu? His family can play Go with airplanes. What about you? The beaten-up student, crying, pointed at the tyrant, about to say something, but was interrupted by the teacher again. He sleeps in class and the teachers don't dare to say anything. What about you? Aiden Fu, however, looked completely unfazed. He just thought the teacher was being passive-aggressive and targeting him. But then he frowned. He's yelling so loud? What if my little mask wearer hears and gets worried? And she did. The teacher's voice echoed through the entire floor. Mina couldn't help but ask Blondie, can his family really afford to play Go with airplanes? After getting a confirmation from Blondie, she was a little surprised. She knew the Fuji family was rich, but not that rich. She even pictured the tyrant holding a walkie-talkie, directing airplanes on a Go board. Just then, Blondie asked shyly, so you're not going to wear a mask anymore? Right. My face was injured before, so I had to. Blondie sighed with regret. He should have stood up for her on the first day when Aiden was bullying her. Now, all the credit went to Aiden. Just then, Aiden Fu returned to the classroom after his scolding. The moment he walked in, he saw Blondie and Mina chatting closely. Is he trying to steal my girl? He strode over, pushed Blondie away, and scolded him. Follow the rules! You're not supposed to talk during morning self-study. Blondie was speechless, being told to follow the rules by the least rule-abiding person in school. After Aiden Fu sat down, Mina leaned over and whispered, Did the teacher punish you? The tyrant tensed up as his little mask wearer got closer. He couldn't look at her. He turned his head away and said uncomfortably, What else could he do? Just cleaning the bathrooms. Mina thought that helping him clean the bathrooms would surely earn her a lot of fortune points. Her eyes lit up. Young Master Fu, I'll help you. The tyrant panicked and backed into a corner. No! No need! Young Master Fu, please, let me handle the bathroom cleaning, Mina pleaded again. The tyrant's face was red to the tips of his ears. He thought, is this little mask wearer deliberately flirting with me? Why is she so determined to stick with me? What am I going to do with her? He struggled to compose himself, but his heart was still pounding. You can't clean the men's bathroom. Mina let out a disappointed oh, then asked curiously, Why are you stuttering? I'm not stuttering. The tyrant was still trying to convince himself. Don't be nervous. She's just pretty. I'm handsome too. He quickly changed the subject. What was going on with those honors class students this morning? It was just some personal issues between me and Eliza, but it's resolved now. Hearing personal issues, the tyrant started wondering if he should have someone warn this Eliza person. Just then, he noticed someone stealing glances at Mina. He immediately shot them a fierce glare, making the boy break out in a cold sweat. So annoying. Now everyone is staring at my little mask wearer. The tyrant then pointed at Mina's bag. Don't you like the new bag I got you? Why aren't you using it? I do like it. I just wanted to air it out first. I'll bring it tomorrow. But the things you gave me? Even 3 years of desserts won't be enough to repay you? I should just earn money and pay you back. Only 3 years of desserts? Why would you stop? Are you going abroad? He thought, is this the 3-year itch? Is she going to like someone else? He mustered up his courage and pretended to nonchalantly mutter, If you asked me to go abroad with you, I might consider it. Mina was caught off guard. She had never thought that far ahead. Seeing his little mask wearer's blank expression, the tyrant's face soured. He started to wonder if he was being played with. Why isn't she even considering our future? Mina noticed that the tyrant seemed unhappy and asked cautiously, What do you mean, young Master Fu? The Tyrant complained, "Why are you still calling me young Master Fu? It's so formal." Nina was confused. She guessed, maybe because he stood up for me today, I should call him boss? She immediately mimicked Blondie and the others. Boss Aiden? He had always thought that nickname sounded cheesy when Blondie and the others said it, but hearing it from his little mask wearer, his heart skipped a beat. His face flushed. Why does it sound so cute when she says it?